Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Matt and welcome back to Crypto Kings. And today's video, we're going to be talking about the incredible movement that Shiba Inu has just shown. It looks like it is absolutely breaking out and we're going to get into everything. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily Shiba Inu videos. And let's get right into it, folks. So if you guys haven't seen this price action here on the day, folks, this is literally incredible. You guys can see we are up 17% on the 24-hour period, way back over the $30 billion market cap, pushing $31 billion right now. Volume here has gone up a great deal here, up 53.64%. And again, this increase in volume, like I always talk about, guys, typically does show some volatility. So if the volume is dramatically up and the price is down, that's kind of a bad thing. That typically means a sell-off, and of course, vice versa. If the price is down a little bit, but the volume is unchanged, that looks more like a consolidation. That looks more normal. So again, the fact that we are having this surge plus a dramatic increase in volume here is excellent right now. So you guys can see here, this is the graph that we are working with, and essentially what we can see here very, very clearly is a cup and handle pattern actually succeeding. Again, you guys can see here's the cup, here's the handle, here's the breakout. A very typical instance in which you would see this. Now, I talked about this in a previous instance. If we go back here to the 4th, you guys can see I essentially mentioned this here on the 4th, and it led to a breakout again as well. So this was an example of a cup and handle pattern that kind of worked. Of course, there are instances in which it doesn't work, and that is very possible, like an instance like this, which sort of resembled that pattern. It went for a breakout, did not succeed, and then same thing, a little bit of a swoop here, did not succeed. So in a few instances, it has not succeeded at breaking out, but in this one, it did, and that is excellent. Speaking of things that are excellent, guys, check out Webull. Top of the link down below in the description. It is so easy to do if you guys want to get started trading stocks, cryptocurrency, including SHIB, all that good stuff. Make sure to check out Webull, folks. Top of the link down below in the description. It is so easy to do, and if you guys use my link, of course, we get some free stuff, me and you, and I always appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. So when it comes down to it, guys, again, what we are working with is a very typical example of a cup, handle, and a breakout. Now, the question is, will this be sustained? Well, there was a very big challenge here, in my opinion, in which trying to break through the essential line of support that was being drawn all the way really from here, and that was, of course, the line of resistance here at around 53. So that resistance line was a great challenge, and it looks like we have actually broken through it. Now, the movement from here on out, hard to say, but it definitely does look extremely bullish. When I check the relative strength index, of course, which I always like to do here on the videos, you guys can see we reach a point where it is considered oversold. You guys see it goes down to around 46, and I think a lot of people who set their limit buys in the 40s would be very satisfied. I know some people over on Twitter who have been tweeting at me saying, oh, I picked up some in the 40s. I think you guys are doing pretty good today, I would say. So you guys can see, again, we reach a point where it is considered oversold, and that is here in the 40s. And because of that, it leads to a breakout, and you guys can see the relative strength index is being pushed, but is not fully above where it is supposed to be. And remember, the relative strength index isn't the be-all, end-all. You guys can see there have been a lot of moments in which the relative strength index here has been over-exceeded. And in those moments, a lot of times it is still able to sustain major price changes. So the relative strength index does not always mean a crash, lower than where it started. It's just an indicator that things are getting very volatile. So again, you guys can see here, of course, we have the ability here to push past if we wanted to get, into the 80s or 90s here. That would probably put us here around, maybe 60 or 64, somewhere around there, I think would be really the limit on the run for the day. Again, it is possible that we see this and that the relative strength index is pushed all the way to the top. Again, I don't think it is particularly likely, but it is very, very possible that we see something like that. Now, the good thing about this is that we are also, so high up that even if some buy volume decreases and we end up trading kind of around the middle, maybe a little lower, kind of around the middle, something like this would not necessarily be tragic because we still would hopefully retain all of this progress made, or at least some of the progress made by this candle here. So again, this candle here is really our savior. There is a lot of options here. I mean, you could, even if we lost, some of this momentum, even if we were able to sustain ourselves above where this dip really started, above, 52, 53, I would still consider that a win. And then, of course, if we were to watch it just bounce off of that, that is a definite scenario, and I would still consider that to be a win. Then we have the other option, of course, which is the idea that this just consolidates, man. It just consolidates between, the high and the low of the most recent run. So somewhere around maybe 57 with a low of, maybe 53, 54. And it very well could just bounce between the high and the low here, could bounce off the top and the bottom here for the near future. This is a very, very possible scenario. In the end, guys, there's no way to know 100% what's going to happen, of course. But the best thing we can do is provide plausible scenarios based off of, identifiable traits like the relative strength index, like the current amount of volume, and of course, like the history of the way this has been traded. So there have been a lot of instances in which something like this has just gone nuclear, and that is very possible, but there is also the circumstance in which something like this just kind of consolidates horizontally, which would still be a needed improvement from this dip here, because honestly, this period of consolidation here, in the 50s, whatnot, didn't look like it was doing very hot. This did not succeed. And again, you guys can see it kind of slips, creates this rounding here, and puts us in some trouble. So it looks as if we have used this as a means of bouncing out of the trouble and, working towards hopefully some more good gains here in the future. Really, when we look at this, you could say this could look like a bull flag as well. It's not quite as neat and pretty as they normally are drawn, but you could very well have something like this and then kind of just watch it, sit and consolidate in sort of a typical bull flag kind of nature. So you do have this option here as well. When we check the Fibonacci retracement, you guys can see it is going to plot out all the most recent lines here for the most recent runs. So you guys can see we have a low here of around 46 and a high of around 58. And essentially, based off of our current price right now, it looks as if it is testing to see whether or not the 23.6% line can serve as a line of support. Now, there's no real way to know this. I personally don't think it will. However, I do think we will resort to the 38.2% line. This line here, the 38.2% line, does look to be a good spot for support because of all these candles that were able to bounce off of it. So again, we do have this option here with a low of around 53, 54, which I think a lot of people could agree would honestly not be very bad. So we do have that option here, of course, from the Fibonacci retracement. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed. Definitely let me know down below in the comments, guys, where you see this going. And do you guys see this as being like a bull flag, a mega explosion right now? Do you guys see this just being a spot to consolidate at a higher region? Let me know where you guys see this heading in a week from now, because honestly, I do think we have made some very good strides today, especially, again, being up such a massive percent. So with that being said, folks, I appreciate you all watching. Make sure to check out Webull, again, top of the link down below in the description. I always do appreciate that, everyone. With that being said, guys, make sure to drop a like and sub for daily SHIB vids. I'm out here grinding every day. You guys will not be left out of the loop if you subscribe, so I always do appreciate it. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.